excited. We got a new video. We have a new show for you, and we are talking about jobs. Jobs, jobs. We are talking about jobs right here, especially in this economy, this messed up economy. It is really jacked up. This is the worst economy we've seen in 40 years. It's absolutely ridiculous. The economy was going strong, at least 2018, 2019, 2020. So now we're in a kind of a different age, and gas prices and all that, it's been through the roof for the past couple of years. People are having a harder time finding jobs, even though the media may tell you different. But I'm here to tell you that there are some jobs available, and I believe over 300 and some jobs with the state or county of Los Angeles. We are going to talk about it. Welcome to the podcast with your host, Todd and Tasha, doing it again here in the city of Los Angeles, state of California. I am so excited because you guys been waiting on us to do another video on jobs, and we have a lot of jobs here. So let's talk about what's going to happen here. So we're going to kind of go back and forth. So Tasha is going to be in control of the administrative type jobs, the administrative field. And I am going to be telling you guys about the medical side, the healthcare job openings.
Exactly. Now, before we get started, as far as diving right into the jobs, let's talk a little bit about the process, because there is a process that you have to follow. There are several steps that are required in order for you to even get your foot in the door as far as the state of California jobs. So 7 steps to be exact. I have notes here, as you can see. So we're going to talk about this super briefly: examination, eligibility, vacancies, applying, interviewing, clearances, and some notes to consider. So first and foremost, you want to go ahead and create your account on calcareers.com. First of all, before you do anything else, that's what you need to do. Create your account, because you're not going to be able to do anything else until you do that.
Actually, before they do anything else, they need to get some popcorn, something to drink, because this is not going to be a video for about 5-10 minutes.
Yeah,
we're going to talk about
we're going to go in
jobs.
depth. Exactly, we're going to go in depth and talk about some jobs and what to look for when you're looking through combing through the jobs. And all that.
If you need to pause this video and come back, just in case maybe you're on the phone or doing something else, I suggest you to do that and come back and watch the rest of the video.
Yeah. Now, why would you? Now, first of all, okay, create your account, but before you even do that, hey, why get a job with the state? You know what I'm saying? With the state of California. And that is because most people are looking for quote unquote job security. A lot of time you get your foot in the door, even if this is the good thing about it, even if for some reason you leave, you are pretty much, depending on the circumstances, you're able to actually come back without having to go through all the rigmarole of starting over from scratch. So that's pretty cool. People really enjoy that part of it as far as that. So number 2, the pay is pretty well, depending on the job and all that. If it's kind of like, some jobs are coveted, and that would be out here, Cedar Sinai.
Now, we're not going to reveal the pay just yet, are we?
No, not just yet. Okay. No, not just yet. No, I'm just saying we're going to get to that when we go to each individual job. But, okay. Some jobs are, I feel some places to work out here are coveted, like Cedar Sinai Medical Center, right. The state of California.
She will bring up my former employer.
Mine too. And places like that, it's like people want to get their foot. They're like, hey, if I can get in there, then hey, I'm good. So this is kind of like one of those things. When you get with the state of California, you're pretty much, quote unquote good. You can move up, you can, come back if you need to, or whatever the case, without going over the extra steps and starting from scratch. So that is what people are looking for. And again, the pay is pretty good. Depending on the jobs, really can be phenomenal as far as that. So again, first and foremost, before you do anything else, create your account on calcareers.com. That's where it all begins, okay? Then, this is what you're going to do. Number 1 is you're going to take the exam. So yes, there are plenty of jobs out here as far as on the state of California website. In the county of Los Angeles alone, over 340. Now, to comb through that, to even get your foot in the door, you have to take, for the most part, an exam. You're going to have to, take an exam, and that's going to determine your eligibility.
I never did like taking exams for the jobs. I just want to get in there and just...
Of course, but the thing of it is, again, it's for the state. So, that comes with the territory. They want to make sure, like, you're competent for these particular jobs. So you're going to have to take an exam, and some, it can be verbal, it can be written, it may be virtual as far as like from the comfort of your own home, or some of them are proctored exams where you actually have to go into certain locations and take the exam. So it just depends on what you're applying for, so be prepared for that.
Should I be a nervous wreck, heart beating all super fast?
But the good thing is that most of the exams now, they're moving to basically virtual, and obviously that's because of the whole like COVID thing or whatever, but now they're like more accepting of that. Now, here's the thing with that. What you have to look out for is, again, there are a number of vacancies, and sometimes they repost the same job until they find the right fit as far as the candidate. So you have to make sure that you're looking out for when you can schedule, like if you can self-schedule the exam, you want to make sure that you're looking at the date and the time so that you can basically hurry up and get in there and schedule yourself for the exam, because the spots do go quick. Because again, people are like, hey, I can do this at home. Let me hurry up and take this exam, sign up for it, or whatever the case. So just be mindful of that. Now, there on the exam bulletin, it's going to let you know what are the minimum qualifications before you even like get your foot in the door. As far as that, you want to make sure that you meet the minimum qualifications, because you don't waste your time taking the exam and then it's just like, oh, well, actually, I don't even meet the minimum qualifications.
She's over here teaching.
Exactly.
Teach it.
So now, also for the exam, there's something called a job bulletin. You want to make sure you read that thoroughly. And a lot of times it has special instructions. Like you don't want to, again, not read it and then it says, oh, you have to be fluent in Spanish. And you don't even speak a lick of Spanish. So then you just wasted your time. After that, you're going to take your exam. And with your application, you're going to go ahead and submit an application form, which is right there on the website. Though it's tedious, the directions are there. You just have to make sure you click the links and look at what it's saying, because it's not just some little Indeed.com. This is the state of California. So you're going to have to make sure that you're basically dotting your I's and crossing your T's as far as that. So next, you want to make sure, like I said, number 2 is eligibility. You meet the eligibility requirements. And just to be totally honest with you guys, I was reading a couple of several experiences people had. Don't be surprised if you have to apply, or I should say submit 100 applications just even get in the door.
But that's normal, though. I mean,
exactly. It's like if you're really looking for something.
A lot of people think it's just foreign. I heard somebody complain, I put in 40 resumes and still nothing, 100 resumes. I mean,
that's normal.
Because you got to think of the amount of people
exactly
that's applying for jobs. So.
Even when we were in a former state or whatever the case, and I was trying to get hired with a university. I definitely put in a ton of applications. So that's to be expected, especially for the state or something like that. So after that, of course, you want to apply. You apply after you've taken the exam. So again, you want to take the exam, you want to look and see that you meet the minimum requirements, and you want to go ahead and then apply as far as that. Next, after that, and I'm almost done. Like I said, I only have a few more. After you apply, then you're going to, as long as you meet the requirements, as long as you score high enough and all of that, they're going to thoroughly check. You will get invited for the interview. So you want to be super prepared. You want to make sure that you have all your information any type of licenses that are needed, if they require that, make sure you bring copies as far as that, because they're going to check. Like, they are not going to leave anything out. That's what I was reading, people's actual experiences. They are super thorough, and they're going to definitely check. And then once you perhaps get the job, you're going to, or offer the job, just as anything else, you're going to have your pre-employment clearances. Make sure that those are all passed, background check. Again, checking out your information, making sure that everything is, valid as far as that, if the licenses are required. Like, for instance, they have CNA positions. They're going to make sure that your CNA license is still active, as an example. And then last but not least, some notes is just be super persistent, be patient, be sure to follow up if you haven't heard anything, and just, again, have a positive attitude, and just, make sure, like, hey, I got this. I'm going to make sure that I'm persistent, and, you should have a good, enjoyable time. So with that being said, let's get into some of the jobs. I'll let Todd go ahead first.
Ladies first.
Okay. I just got finished doing all that talking, and then he's talking about some ladies first.
Okay, well, I'll go if you want me to.
Yeah. Okay, go ahead.
Okay. All right, well, yeah, after all that talking.
Wow.
Okay, so let's talk about the first job. So the first job I have here is audiologist. I'm not very familiar with a lot of these medical terms. So anyway.
Whatever.
Okay, so for the sake of time, I'm going to try not to read everything, but I'm just going to try to read enough. Okay, so under the direction of the Chief of Primary Care Services, or designee, administer diagnostic tests to identify patients with hearing impairments and to determine the nature and extent of hearing disorders. Administer specialized measuring devices and tests for identification of hearing impairment of the hospital population. Interpret and evaluate results. Some of the minimum requirements: they want you to possession of a valid license to practice audiology in California as determined by the speech pathology and audiology examining committee of the California Board of Medical Quality Assurance. So those are some things. Applicants who are in the process of securing approval of their qualifications by the speech pathology and audiology examining committee will be admitted to the examination, but they must meet all of the legal requirements in order to be eligible for appointment. Now, it goes on to talk about like the working conditions and all that stuff, but you guys can, of course, go on the site just to see. But let's talk about the salary.
Yeah. Now,
the salary for this particular position is pretty good, actually, if you ask me. And so your monthly, it's between $5,069 and $6,983 per month. So that's per month. And that is good for a lot of people.
Oh, yeah, of course. All right. So again, I'm doing the administrative, like office type of stuff or whatever. So right here, they have something that's available. It's hot off the press. The final filing date, just so you know, it is April the 8th. So it's coming up. So you want to get started, if so, quickly. This is for Disability Insurance Services Representative. And again, you're going to be under the supervision of Disability Insurance Services Rep. Under supervision, I should say. You're basically going to be determining claimant eligibility for things like SDI, which is the State Disability Insurance Program, and disability insurance, paid medical leave, things of that nature. So what you're going to do is you'll, do things like fact-finding interviews, make sure that they fill out their paperwork properly, and just, again, looking through and making sure that the person, of course, that is filing meets the eligibility requirements so that they can basically get their monthly check for being disabled, if it's short-term, long-term, or whatever the case. So this, of course, is going to require that you, of course, are, of integrity. You keep things, under wraps. You basically are, making sure that you protect the person's privacy and things like that, because medical records may be required. So you want to make sure that you maybe have experience as far as that's concerned. Now, This is going to be located in Van Nuys, and it is with the disability insurance, department or whatever the case. This right here, you click on it where it says more information about the job. Again, click the links. It says a duty statement, and you're going to go ahead and read that and make sure that you do meet those requirements as far as that's concerned, in addition to what was already stated. So you're going to have to take an exam, submit the job application, make sure you read the duty statement. This is in Van Nuys. It is a permanent full-time position, so that's important to note too, because some of them are like temporary and it could be to full-time, but this is actually permanent full-time, so that's good. And this particular one, it is with the, Employment Development Department, aka Unemployment Office or whatever the case. So the salary for this is the low, which again you can always negotiate, is $3,534 per month up to $5,500 per month. So that's kind of like entry level, which is good. But again, you can make up over $1,000 a week. Just go ahead and negotiate it up.
So I forgot to tell you guys that this job location is basically obviously LA County, but it's located in Norwalk, and it is a part-time position. Part-time position for the money that is 16 hours a week, and it's a really nice salary for a part-time.
Yeah, I was gonna say, because that's really good actually.
Yeah, so I don't know how in the world I left that one out. Okay, so so I'm going to try to make sure I'm reading. So when you guys go on the job website, some of them are going to have terms of like the openings. If it is, what's the word I'm looking for? It's going to say until filled. Mm-hmm. So look at the ones that says until filled.
Yeah.
Okay, so the next one I'm going to talk about is clinical laboratory technologist. Now, let's talk a little bit about the job description here. So, the clinical laboratory is seeking a highly motivated individual to fill the position under the direction of the clinical laboratory supervisor, or designee. Duties include, but are not limited to, performing AM phlebotomy for the clients at MSH and performing laboratory testing utilizing various laboratory analyzers. Primary duties include monthly bench work rotation in the various laboratories departments, including hematology, chemistry, immunology, a whole lot of stuff here. I almost thought this said Scientology. Candidates must possess a current certified clinical laboratory scientist license from the state of California. They want you to have good attendance. They want you to be good with computers, all that stuff. Minimum qualifications: possession of a clinical laboratory technologist license or a similar license of equal or higher level issued by the state Department of Health Services. Applicants who do not possess the required license will be admitted to the examination, but must secure the license before they will be considered eligible for appointment. Full-time. The pay is between $5,037 and $6,307 per month for a full-time position. And it's located in Norwalk.
Okay. All right, guys. So I have communications operator. This is for Metropolitan State Hospital, with the Metropolitan State Hospital. And again, quick note too. Todd had mentioned, when you are looking at these particular jobs and it says until filled, keep in mind the until filled positions, sometimes they have multiple positions open for one. For two, they review applications on the 1st and the 15th of each month. And once they, of course, look and see if you are, eligible, that you did all the stuff that I mentioned before, whatever the case, and if you are, in the top 3 rank as far as top 3 ranks, that is, as far as your test, then of course you can get notified or whatever the case for interview and all that, or to move on to the next step. So just keep that in mind. If you don't hear anything, again, after a month, be persistent, follow up. So this is for communications operator. I say that this is AKA dispatcher, and you'll see why when I read the job description. So now there are 2 positions on here for this. One is one is temporary and one is permanent. Both of them are full-time. The temporary one is up to 12 months. It could end sooner. And the other one, again, is permanent full-time. So be sure, depending on your needs, you're going to click on the one that is right for you. Maybe you're only looking for something temporary. Go ahead and fill out the form for that. So, communication operator, as an example, performs a variety of duties, including operating multi-frequency / multi-channel radio, telephone systems, computer-aided transmitting and receiving equipment to receive calls from field units. You're going to be working with hospitals. You're going to be working with local law enforcement, etc. Again, this is for transmitting information when it comes to who needs help. Maybe someone needs to be rescued. Sensitive information may be transmitted or whatever. So again, this is considered a sensitive position, and it does require a successful substance screening and post-background screening clearance. So you're going to have to make sure that you can clear for that. Again, an exam is definitely required. So if you don't meet the minimum eligibility by way of other means, like again, you worked there before, you already took an exam, you're on the reachable employment list, etc., make sure that you go ahead and schedule yourself for the exam. This one, again, it is until filled. So keep that in mind. They're going to have it open until they get a proper people in these positions. So let's talk about, and also too, pardon me guys, this is located in the city of Norwalk as well, which of course is still part of Los Angeles County, LA County. Minimum qualifications are also listed, but what they really harp on with this one is being able to pass the backgrounds as far as that drug screening, background check, and also medical clearance is going to be required as well. They're going to communicate with you via email. You will have to take an exam, and they also want you to mail this in. So another note, sometimes the process is a little longer because if the exam is proctored, like you have to actually go into a place, you're going to not get your results right away as opposed to if you do it online. So keep that in mind as well. Now, the good thing about this is, hey guys, this is pretty good. For this one, you're going to clear at least $1,000 a week all the way up to $6,373 per month. So anywhere from $4,090 to $6,373 per month. Okay, so that's pretty good.
All right, so the next job here I want to talk about, and this job is laboratory assistant.
Okay.
Laboratory assistant, this is located in the city of Norwalk, okay? So a little brief description here. Under the general direction of the supervising the clinical laboratory technologist, the clinical laboratory is seeking a highly motivated individual to fill this full-time permanent position. Duties include but are not limited to performing phlebotomy on the clients at Metropolitan State Hospital. Highly desirable candidates with excellent phlebotomy skills and computer skills are a plus. We are looking for candidates with excellent attendance and punctuality, as well as the ability to work closely with others. Performs assigned varied, standardized, and non-technical laboratory procedures in processing or preparing laboratory specimens, materials, and supplies, including operations of specialized mechanical laboratory equipment. Gathers all laboratory specimens and performs phlebotomy, including finger sticks when needed. So it goes on and on. Now, desirable qualifications, in addition to evaluating each candidate's relative ability as demonstrated by quality and breadth of experience. Okay, minimum qualifications, laboratory assistant, 6 months of experience in laboratory work and definition of levels above. Education equivalent to completion of the 8th grade. Wow. Or satisfactory completion of a formalized laboratory work experience and training program of at least 3 months duration, such as those conducted under Manpower Development and Training Act Work Incentive Program or similar work experience programs conducted by state agencies. So those are some of the things right there that you need to know. And now, speaking of you need to know, you also need to know the pay. So the pay for this full-time position is between, it seems like I'm seeing doubles here, $2,976 to $3,999 per month.
Okay. All right, guys. So next one that I have is...
Of course, you got to take a drug test. And all these jobs, you got to take drug tests and background, all that stuff. So
they're going to make sure you're clean. Okay. Right. All right. So the next one that I have is for, once again, Employment Development Department. They are hiring big time. So EDD is hiring, and this is for the Employment Program Representative, obviously meaning that you're working directly at one of the local EDD offices, which, as we already know, handles mainly unemployment, but again, could also be disability claims as well. Now, with these positions that are open, keep in mind that this is for Spanish speakers, or if you speak Vietnamese, maybe you know somebody, okay? But of course, this is California, so there are plenty of people that are multilingual, fluent in Spanish. You will have to prove that your fluency. Just to keep in mind, any of the jobs where it says, that you have to speak any particular language, you're going to have to take an exam even for that separately, or some type of proof of fluency in that particular language. So with this one as well, and hey, keep in mind, you may want to look out to see if they have ones that are just for strictly English speakers. But a lot of times when it comes to this particular department, because of the volume of people that are coming in, they're not going to just basically stop and go find someone that can speak Spanish. That's the whole thing as far as why is Spanish speakers or Vietnamese. So again, with this one, of course, what do they say? Are you, someone working that works with a lot of people? There's a lot of diverse, people that are be coming into the office. Sometimes their attitudes, let's be real, they're not going to be in a very pleasant mood. So they want somebody with a positive attitude as well. And this is for, if that's you, then this is for you. So what you're going to be doing is, of course, face-to-face customer service, you might as well call it, with people coming in for services as far as that. And it is not remote. It is definitely in person, in office. Overnight travel may be required as well. This is as well as travel to, it says, San Fernando Valley and Antelope Valley Centers. So that means San Fernando Valley and Lancaster. This is, I'm sorry. This site is virtual and physical. So it will eventually exist in Canoga Park. So keep that in mind once the location has been determined. Physical location to be in Pasadena until then. So you're going to be in Pasadena right now. They're going to be building something out that's going to be in Canoga Park, but right now it's in Pasadena. And also there is some virtual work, but you're going to mainly be in a physical location. Again, this does require fluency in either Vietnamese or Spanish. And if the state of California does not have a current record documenting your fluency, you will be required to successfully pass an approved language fluency test. Per the governor's office, the Office of California, the Employment Development Department is considered an essential department. So it requires local in-person workload. Some telework may be available, and it follows the recommended safety guidelines as far as that, aka you may have to have your vaccination. So in addition to that, it says that that's the wrong thing. So the pay for this one is pretty good. It's at a low $3,534 per month, and it goes all the way up to $5,500 per month. So again, go in and negotiate, especially if you're fluent in those particular languages, and you may be able to start at a higher rate.
Wow, that sounds excellent. So the next one we're going to talk about is LVN, Licensed Vocational Nurse. Let's talk about that a little bit. Now, job description here. Position is located, first I'll tell you what the job is. The job is located at Veterans Hospital in West Los Angeles.
Oh, okay.
So it's right there, actually like off of Wilshire, basically. Mm-hmm. So let's talk about this a little bit. We're going to talk about the minimum requirements here. Now, first, let's talk about the typical tasks that you'll be doing. So basically, you'll be administering. It's just basically a nurse, but you're just like a step down under the nurse. But you're going to be administering medications. You're going to be, hooking up IVs, all that stuff. You are going to be taking vitals, doing a lot of things, chest treatments, preparing them for like different, x-rays and just a whole lot of stuff too. So you're going to be doing like catheterizations, utilizing, the monitors for the blood glucose, all that stuff. So again, feedings through the IV. There's a lot of things you'll be doing. So again, you can go on there and definitely read more about it. But the minimum qualifications, they want you to possess a valid active license from the state of California to practice as a LVN. Now let's talk about the pay. And the pay, again, they're going by monthly, but the pay is it's between actually $4,650 to $5,821 per month. And again, you'll have to take like an exam, and of course, they're going to probably require you to be tested against different things that's floating around in the environment out here. So that's just to let you know that too. So have your stuff together.
Have your stuff together. All right. So, hey guys, the DMV is hiring, okay? The DMV is hiring. Okay, I know that. Now, for some people, that may not sound very exciting, but depending on who it is, if you want to get started in state service, then this is your foot in the door. This is an entry-level position with the Department of Motor Vehicles. This will be the Pasadena office. So, Pasadena field office for DMV. And this is for a motor vehicle representative, aka obviously face-to-face customer service, making sure that the people who come in for their driver's license or whatever the case are serviced. It is going to be, as you already know, you've been to DMV. It's going to be fast-paced. You're going to have to make sure that they fill out their forms and sign them correctly. You pretty much know what you're going to be doing because you've been there and you see what they do. Some people are administered the test as far as that, while the people sit there and take it. Other than that, you're going to be filing paperwork. You're going to be in the computer, taking payment, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So they're looking for people who, again, motivated, enthusiastic, you have a good attitude, and you are able to, of course, come in there and just basically get the job done, service the customers, and send them on their way, make sure everything is done properly. So this one is a limited term position, so it may be extended, it says, to 24 months or go into a permanent position. So please keep that in mind when you're looking at these particular jobs, that you see the term that is for. Is it permanent, full-time? Is it part-time? Because sometimes you may see the pay and you're thinking that is full-time, but sometimes it's actually only part-time. So just be sure to make sure you look at that. When you do apply, it says that you must indicate the job control code. So again, make sure that you put the codes on there that they're asking for, and examinations or job titles for which you are applying. So they want to make sure that you put that on there as well. Working conditions. Again, this is in the Pasadena office. They do offer 401k. They're specifically letting you know. 401k, leave benefits, employee assistance programs, the whole nine when it comes to this. And, bargaining unit, aka you'll be in the union, tenure, time-based, length of appointment, all of that stuff. So with this particular one, the filing date is approaching, so be sure to check it out if you're interested. You have a few days left. And the minimum is, the pay as far as that is $3,000. Oh, so small. There we go. $3,295 up to over $1,000 a week, which is $4,777 per month. So that's that for that.
That sounds pretty hot. Mm-hmm. So let's talk about this next hot one. So the next hot one is nurse practitioner. So, of course, you nurses out there, you know what a nurse practitioner is. So I'm not going to bore you with all the details or all the lingo. I'm not very good at reading all the nursing lingo and all the other type of stuff. So Well, I'm just going to basically talk about the minimum requirements here. Let me first, let's just talk about where it's located, where this is located. It is at California State Prison in Los Angeles. Where exactly? I don't know. Just, I guess, wherever you can find a prison at. I don't know where this prison is at exactly, but, I mean, you can go try to find a prison, figure out which prison it is. I don't know. But, so, anyway, if you don't have a problem working inside of a prison, then this is the job for you. I mean, people in prisons, they need help too as well. So
California State, I think it's Lancaster. Is it not Is it Lancaster?
Oh, you know what? Maybe so. Because it's not saying, unless I'm just, well, anyway.
Okay.
We'll have to find it. Oh, actually, she's right. Yeah, it is Lancaster.
Okay.
Well, I guess women are smart. So we know that. So let's talk about the minimum qualifications. So, possession of a current license as a registered nurse in California. Applicants who do not meet the requirement will be admitted to the examination, but they must secure the required license before they will be considered eligible for appointment. And possession of a current certification as a nurse practitioner by the Board of Registered Nurses. Applicants who do not meet this requirement will be admitted to the examination, but they must secure the required I feel like I just read this. You know what? They put this on here twice. Oh my goodness. They have it on there twice. I'm reading this thing twice, so forgive me on that.
Sorry.
So obviously, you got to go to school for all this stuff, nursing, and then, you work your way up to become nurse practitioner. So I won't, again, bore you with all that stuff, but I will try to motivate you a little bit as far as the pay. So the pay, now they're doing an annual here. So the nurse practitioner annual salary range is between $136,416 to $154,212. So, and it is a 12-month limited term to full time.
Okay. All right, cool. All right, so I've got another one that I believe is considered entry level. If you want to basically, I call these get your foot in the door type of positions. And that is for a case records technician. Again, this is also with California State Prison, LA County. So again, Lancaster. Filing date, that means that the last date that you can basically get your information in is the 11th of this month. So, may want to step on it if you want looking for it. This is a limited term to 12 months. It may become permanent or extended up to 24 months. You're going to be under direct supervision, And what you're going to be doing is CRT for short, case records technician, performs, again, this is basic to complex duties relating to processing, maintaining, and controlling inmate records. That's pretty much what you're going to be doing. So, as a departmental liaison on case records related issues, CRT position is involved in detailed, sensitive, and extensive interaction. So again, keep in mind, you're going to be seeing people's information. So they want to make sure that you are of integrity, that you're going to keep your mouth shut basically about what it is that you're seeing. And you may be requested to pull records, to get information from the records and provide it to whoever is requesting it, which could be, again, the nurse practitioner. It could be the, I was going to say the warden, but I think there's a different name as far as that. But whoever is requesting the information, you're going to be basically giving that to them. So you're in charge of the records. Again, this is in Lancaster, California. They want to make sure that for this one, you do have to have a minimum typing speed as well, which I believe is 40 words per minute. That's not hard at all. If you need help with typing, Mavis Beaking, they have like a bunch of free things online to help you improve your typing score. Your typing speed or whatever. So again, keep that in mind too. You do have to take a test for the typing speed. Now, for this particular one, they've got multiple I was going to say prices. Sorry. They have multiple monthly salaries listed. So depending on which classification that you're hired for, it's anywhere between $3,000 and $2 per month, all the way up to $4,351 per month. So again, it just depends on what it is that you're applying for, how you apply, and what it is that they, I guess, the category that they put you in, and what you actually get hired for as far as what's going to determine the pay. And yeah, so pretty much that's what they're going to do as far as that.
The next job here is registered dietitian, working at the Department of Veterans Affairs, again, in West Los Angeles. Well, that sounds like a good job.
Yeah.
So obviously dealing with food, helping people. Well, let me just read the, kind of description. So registered dietitian, under direction, incumbents complete nutrition assessments, assist and advise clinical personnel on special nutrition needs, plan dietary intervention and strategies, attend interdisciplinary team conferences, monitor and document nutritional needs and goals, may accept or transmit verbal or electronically transmitted orders from physicians consistent with an established protocol to implement medical nutrition therapy. So that's just some of the things right there. I mean, it's basically a whole book on here. I'm not going to go all through here. So that's a little bit. So let's talk about some of the minimum requirements for the position. Equivalent to graduation from college with a major in dietetics or institutional management from a coordinated undergraduate dietetic program or a formalized post-bachelorette education program approved by the Accreditation Council for Education in Nutrition and Dietetics, and verification of application to take the registered dietitian examination administered by the commission. Or so that's, of course, if you aren't, this is just basically the pre-registered dietitian there. So registered dietitian or registered dietitian nutritionist with the commission on dietetic registration of the Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics. Applicants with proof of eligibility to apply for registration will be admitted to the examination but must become registered to be eligible for appointment. So let's talk about I'm just totally fumbling over this whole big talk over here for this medical stuff. So anyway, the salary per month is $5,496 to $7,298 there.
Oh, wow. That's pretty good.
So, yep. So basically, again, you'll be working in the kitchen at the Department of Veterans Affairs too. So.
Okay. All right. So I got another one with the Department of Motor Vehicles, but this is a little bit different because it's for office manager. So this is for office manager 4. So it's not just the beginning. This is for, kind of a higher up position as far as that. And it's with the DMV. You do have some time to go ahead and get your, stuff together as far as that. Now, it says this posting is for a departmental open examination administered through the Special Examination and Appointment Program. They use alternative examination and selection process for filling specified positions. Obviously, because this is a management position, it's, for, again, level 4 management. So that's why they're basically specifying that. Like, that's the first thing that they have on here. Like, from the get-go, it's going to be, basically a bit of a different process. And as far as getting this position here, they're letting you know that at a minimum, it's going to be a 70% that must be attained to obtain list eligibility. Just for a side note, list eligibility means that once you do take those exams, they pretty much categorize you kind of on a curve. So whoever whatever group scored in this particular category, like maybe the top, whatever, and the top could be like, maybe 85% to, 80% or whatever. It may not be 100%. they're going to be first. Then it's going to be a second tier, and then it's going to be a third tier. The cutoff is the top 3, and that's not called tiers. They consider it rank. So just to let you know, they're letting you know that no matter what, the minimum is 70%. So even if it was something to where, maybe the third rank would be 65, they're letting you know, like, no, they need you to have 70%, just to let you know what that means. So at any rate, they want to make sure that you put the proper information on the application. Like, they're pretty much letting you know up front, like, what to, again, have your stuff together when it comes to this. So you're going to be managing a grade 4 office, providing driver's license, vehicle registration, and other services to the public. It says the field office manager is primarily responsible for effectively managing workloads and resources and budgeting available dollars and hours to ensure that the field office is fully staffed and functional. So you're going to be, again, responsible for making sure that you have adequate staff, that, you're not going to have any gaps in, in service availability, so that you don't have a bunch of people waiting out at the DMV like forever. You want to make sure that you're fully staffed, make sure that you know how to manage funds as far as that. So those are some things that you can look forward to. The field office manager is directly responsible for development and maintenance of a high-quality public service program, for correctly and fairly administering all department programs, implementing new technology, and providing employee development. So again, if you have management experience, go ahead and put your neck out, and if it's something that you're interested in, take a shot at this particular position. It says that this position may be subject to allocation approval by Human Resources Branch or Department of Finance approval. So again, there's other things that you may have to go through as far as approval process, and they're letting you know up front. With this one, the pay is pretty good though, guys. So at a minimum, it's $6,718 per month, up to $8,407 per month. So, hey, I mean, that's pretty good. Yeah, it's going to be probably a little hectic or whatever, but it is management, so that's pretty much what you can expect anyway.
Wow. So the last one I have for here, I mean, there's so many jobs, like
so many.
Can't even. Honestly, guys, I'm super rushing through this, so forgive me for fumbling throughout this whole message. But the last one I have here is a wound care nurse, registered nurse in wound care, working at the Department of Veterans Affairs again in West Los Angeles. Okay, you pretty much should already know in terms of what you have to do to become a nurse and things like that. So you can, of course, go on the website and find that information out. So as far as the job, so we don't know if it's full-time, part-time. It's just basically to be determined. But I can tell you what the salary is, and the salary is $8,703 to $10,373 per month on a monthly basis right there. So
wow.
So that's pretty good too.
Yeah. And hey, also remember earlier I mentioned motor vehicle representative as far as the DMV. Just let you know, directly in Los Angeles, they have several listings on here that they're looking to fill. Positions that's in listings. That the position that they're looking to fill is not real estate. And it does not require you to speak Spanish. So, hey, make sure that you check that out too. And the pay, again, just as a reminder, minimum $3,295 up to $4,777. This is, of course, per month. And last but not least, just to let you know too, they also have a ton of office assistant positions available on here. Again, entry level, I call these get your foot in the door positions. This is specifically typing, and you do have to have a minimum typing speed of 40 words per minute, and it's for places like California Highway Patrol, Department of Social Services, Department of Rehabilitation. So again, they have multiple listings for that particular one, and then they also have one Office Technician General where there's no minimum typing speed required. But again, office technician and things like that, that's basically basic office support, faxing, type, maybe some correspondence, things like that. And the pay is $3,308 up to $4,145. So, you can be making over $1,000 a week in these particular jobs and get your foot in the door and then move up from there. So that is all that we have for today. Okay, guys. So again, go ahead, look at the website, see what it is that tickles your fancy as far as that.
We'll have the link down in the description.
Yes, there's a ton of vacancies available. So guys are looking for something, make sure you check it out. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and share this video with somebody who needs it, all over social media. And until next time, we'll see you in the next video. Peace.